Hello everyone, this is the competitive makeup tutorial using the BA Star makeup kit, and you can see in the photo all the makeup I'll be using except the light and dark eyeshadow duo. That is not shown. You'll also see the footage jump here in a second to after the first eye is done, but we'll catch back up with that later after lips and cheeks. So we're going to do the cheeks now, and you can see that I'm using the blush brush in the kit and starting very high on the cheekbone. So up at that highest point is where I'm going to highlight and swoop it upwards, and then of course around the apple of the cheek, but not much farther in front because they'll already be flushed from dancing, so we don't want to come in too close to the nose. Next we're doing the lips, and I noticed pretty quickly that this lip pencil is a little too big for Mallory's mouth. So I rubbed it off on my hand and switched to a Q-tip to apply it instead. So you can do that if your dancer has smaller lips or a smaller mouth instead of trying to use the pencil. So I'm just going to carefully outline the upper lip first. And you could also do this with a lip brush if you happen to have one. We're now going down to line the bottom lip. Same method, very carefully around the edges and then filling in afterwards. And again, I'm using a Q-tip instead of the pencil for this. If you make any mistakes, you can certainly go back with a concealer on a little brush and clean up outside the lines if you happen to go out of the lines. This next step is a trick I like to use if you find that your lipstick doesn't last that long. I first had Mallory blot off any excess lipstick and then took a translucent powder and just dusted that on top. So we have a very thin layer of red and then a thin layer of powder. And then I'm just going to put another thin coat of lipstick on top of that, and I find that it really locks it in a lot longer to have that powder in between. Going back to the eyes now, what I'm doing is trying to create a base for the eyeshadow that really increases its opacity. So I've taken the lighter eyeshadow, not the glitter, but the lighter shadow in the duo, and using a wet Q-tip, I'm applying that as a base around the tear duct and the entire moving lid all the way up to the brow bone, all the way up to her eyebrow, and over past the outer edge of the eye as well. So we're filling that all in with the light color. You see we just jumped now to the other eye. And I'm doing the same thing now with the dark shadow. On a dampened Q-tip, I'm taking the darker eyeshadow of the duo, not yet the glitter, and outlining the shape that I want on her eye. It's the entire moving lid, plus a little bit higher than the moving lid, so that when she opens her eye, you can still see some of that dark color. That's important because it makes the eyes look larger and more open, and we really want that on stage. I've done a couple layers of this just to make sure that it's as deep as I can get it so that the glitter stands out on top of that color. Now I'm taking some chapstick and taking off a chunk there, you can see, and then I'm going to warm that up on my hand with my finger and dab that on top of the dark shadow that we just laid down. I don't want to apply the stick right to the eye because it might move the brown around, so I'm dabbing that on top. A thin but consistent layer. And then using the fluffier of the two little eye brushes from the kit, really packing on that bronze glitter shadow, the loose shadow now. It's all falling down under her eye, but that's fine, we'll get rid of that later. Again, I'm getting quite a bit on the brush and really packing it on over that dark shadow. The moving lid a little above and the outside edge of the eye as well. And now I'm brushing away all of that extra fallout. Now I'm repeating the dabbing of the chapstick all the way up to the eyebrow, and then I'll take that white or the lighter loose glitter shadow. And this time I'm just using a dry Q-tip to get as much of that powder shadow on there as I can and then get it to stick to the chapstick. I'm applying this from the inner tear duct, way at the inside corner of the eye, all the way up to the eyebrow and out past the eyebrow a little bit to make a rounded shape and meet the brown down at the bottom. Now we're moving on to eyeliner, and I'm using little short dash type strokes all the way out. You can see I've started underneath where her eyebrow ends, so that we're elongating the shape of the eye, again trying to make it look larger and more open on stage, and then just deepening that line going all the way to the inner corner of the eye. You want it dark enough and thick enough to see, but not too thick that when they open their eyes all you see is the liner instead of any shadow. And then I'm going to repeat that lining process down underneath the eye, just a little thinner and lighter than above, but we do want to exaggerate the shape of the eye, so I'm going to line underneath as well, and again all the way to the inside corner. Now I'm taking a little of that dark shadow from the duo, not the glitter but the dark shadow, and just smudging it under the eye to soften that line a little bit. And now we're moving on to mascara. When putting mascara on younger students who don't generally do it themselves, I like to use the blinking method, so I lay the brush at the eyelashes and then have them slowly blink or close their eye to coat. And then I kind of comb back through them a little bit if they got clumpy. Then on those inside lashes that I want to make sure I get, especially important if you're not wearing false lashes, I turn the brush vertical and kind of paint the lashes individually. That way they can keep their eyes open or closed and it doesn't really mess it up too much. Again, we're trying to exaggerate the shape of the eye, always making it look bigger, wider, more open. So we're taking that mascara on the lower lashes as well. And then we are done. So you can see Mallory here with our finished look. Here she's got her eyes closed, the white on top, the bronze on the lid, the exaggerated liner top and bottom, and mascara, blush at the tops of the cheeks, and a red lip. Thank you for watching!